Let me be clear right from the start. Your success is your loudest message. You don't need to shout it from the rooftops. You don't need to make noise for others to hear you. Your work, your results, and your commitment will speak volumes louder than any words ever could. Success is not born from the noise we make. It is born from the actions we take when no one is watching. In a world filled with distractions, opinions, and constant chatter, it's easy to fall into the trap of thinking you need to talk about your ambitions, your plans, and your goals. The truth, however, is that true success requires a different approach. Work in silence. The greatest accomplishments often come from those who toil away without the need for applause or validation. It's the ones who stay focused, who are not concerned with how much attention they're getting along the way, that create legacies worth remembering. In the early stages of any endeavor, the desire for recognition can be overwhelming. We want others to notice our efforts, to see how hard we are working, and to affirm our potential. But here's a harsh truth. Your success does not need an audience. Your journey is yours alone. And the more you focus on the noise, the more distracted you become from the real work that needs to be done. Instead of looking for validation, dedicate your energy to mastering your craft, honing your skills, and making progress. The results will speak for themselves when the time is right. It's easy to compare ourselves to others. We live in an era of social media where everyone's successes seem to be broadcasted to the world. It feels like everyone else is ahead, everyone else is being noticed, while you are quietly working behind the scenes. But remember this, those moments that look effortless to others are the culmination of countless hours of unseen effort, sacrifice, and focus. The noise you hear is often just a distraction. The real work is done when no one is around to witness it, when it's just you and your vision relentlessly pushing forward. When you're working in silence, you're building something that has staying power. The world may not notice your steps at first, but over time, the foundation you're laying becomes unshakable. Success doesn't happen overnight. And the ones who experience long-term fulfillment are the ones who have the patience and determination to keep going when things aren't visible to the public eye. They understand that success doesn't rely on immediate recognition, but on a consistent commitment to growth. Think about those who have achieved monumental success, the names we admire, the companies that are now household names, the people who have made lasting impacts. They all have one thing in common. They worked in silence. They didn't spend their time telling people what they were going to do. They simply did it. Their results were their story. Every day they showed up, not because they expected praise, but because they were driven by something bigger than temporary attention. They worked because they had a vision and a mission that was worth the silent effort. The true test of your character comes when you're doing the work that no one sees. It's easy to stay motivated when others are watching, when there's external pressure, or when you're receiving feedback, but real growth comes when there's no external validation, when it's just you and your goals, and you have to rely on your inner drive to keep moving forward, even when the road is long and uncertain. In those quiet moments, you build resilience. You discover what you're truly capable of. Those who thrive in silence understand that success is a byproduct of consistent, focused effort. They know that the real breakthroughs come when you've put in the work day after day, hour after hour, without needing to announce every small victory along the way. The small wins, the setbacks, the challenges, they're all part of the process. It's in those moments that your true character is developed. And when the results come, when the success is finally visible, it isn't just the outcome that speaks, but the strength and discipline behind it. When you let your success speak for itself, it becomes undeniable. It becomes evident in the quality of your work, in the value you create, and in the impact you make. You don't need to force people to see you. Your actions will naturally draw attention. Those who are paying attention will see your growth, your resilience, and your results. And those who weren't paying attention will soon realize they've missed something extraordinary. Your success will demand respect, and it will inspire others to follow in your footsteps. Every person who has reached a significant level of achievement has done so because they knew how to block out the distractions and focus on the grind. They weren't waiting for approval. They didn't need to explain themselves or justify their actions. They just kept moving forward. The focus was always on the work, never on the validation. In silence, they perfected their craft, refined their process, and pushed themselves beyond limits that others couldn't see or understand. It's time for you to stop seeking permission. Stop waiting for the world to give you approval. The only approval you need is your own. You don't need to announce your intentions to the world. Instead, get to work, set your goals, break them down into actionable steps, and execute them with relentless consistency. Let the work speak for itself. Let the results show the world what you're capable of. When the time is right, you'll no longer have to explain your success. It will be clear to everyone around you. Until then, let your silence be your strength. And there is a fundamental truth that separates those who merely talk about success from those who achieve it. Actions speak louder than words. We all have dreams, ideas, and aspirations, but it's easy to get caught up in the excitement of sharing those ideas with the world. We tell people about what we're going to do, the goals we've set, and the future we envision, but the reality is that these words, while important in expressing intent, mean very little unless they are followed by consistent, deliberate action. Without action, words remain just that: empty promises, fleeting thoughts, and unfulfilled potential. Words are easy. Talking about your goals, explaining your plans, and dreaming about what you could accomplish takes no real effort. But action is where the work lies. It's the hours spent working toward your goal, even when it seems difficult or the results aren't immediate. It's the tough decisions you make when no one is looking, the sacrifices you make to stay focused on your vision, and the persistence to keep moving forward despite challenges. This is where growth happens. This is where transformation begins. Think about the most successful people you know or admire. Are they the ones constantly talking about their ambitions, or are they the ones quietly working day in and day out to bring their vision to life? Success is built through action, and it's rarely about the noise we make along the way. You don't need to announce your progress at every step or seek constant validation for your efforts. The real measure of your success will always be found in what you accomplish, not in what you say. It's easy to look at someone else's success and think they have it easy or that their achievements came without effort, but what you don't see is the work behind the scenes. The sleepless nights, the tough decisions, the countless failures and lessons learned along the way. Words can never truly capture the depth of the struggle that accompanies real success. The ones who make it are those who keep pushing, even when things aren't going as planned, and even when it seems like no one is paying attention. When you focus on action rather than words, you're giving yourself the freedom to fail, learn, and grow without the pressure of needing approval or recognition. The fear of failure often paralyzes us into overthinking and overexplaining. But when you choose to act and let the results speak for themselves, you take control of your narrative. You no longer need to justify your efforts or explain every decision you make. Instead, you can simply show the world what you've accomplished through your actions. Every time you take meaningful action, you move closer to your goals. Each step forward, no matter how small, brings you that much closer to the life you envision. And while the journey may not always be smooth or easy, it's in those moments of struggle and challenge that your true strength is built. It's the actions you take when things are hard or when doubt creeps in that define who you truly are. These moments, these choices are what set you apart from those who only dream but never act. The power of action is that it doesn't require permission, approval, or external validation. You don't need to wait for the right moment or for someone to tell you that you're ready. You decide when you're ready to act. The more you act, the more confident you become in your ability to create results. It's through doing, failing, learning, and trying again that you build the muscle of resilience and the mindset of success. When you take action, you also stop wasting time on things that don't matter. Talking, planning, and overanalyzing often take more time and energy than simply doing the work. By acting, you cut through the noise and focus on what's important, moving forward. Every time you make a choice to act rather than talk, you gain momentum. That momentum will carry you through tough times and bring you closer to your ultimate goal, no matter how big or difficult it may seem. There's a saying, you are what you repeatedly do. This couldn't be truer when it comes to success. Your daily actions, the choices you make in the moments that count, are what shape the person you become. The habits you cultivate through action will eventually define your success. You can talk about who you want to be, but it's only through consistent action that you will become that person. Your future is not a product of the plans you make, but of the steps you take to execute them. The bottom line is that success comes from doing, not talking. Action is the bridge between intentions and reality. It's the force that turns dreams into results. So while it's important to have a vision, to have plans, and to dream big, those things are only powerful if they are backed up by action. Don't get caught in the trap of talking about what you're going to do. Let your actions do the talking, and your success will speak for itself. There's a unique power in working behind the scenes. It's the quiet dedication, the unseen hours, the unspoken commitment to a goal that often leads to the greatest accomplishments. While the world is preoccupied with the noise of public displays, flashy announcements, and constant validation, those who truly achieve greatness are often the ones who choose to work in silence. They understand that the most important progress is the kind that isn't immediately visible, the kind that is built slowly, methodically, and without the need for applause. When you work behind the scenes, you learn the true value of persistence. You are not distracted by the external noise or the pressure to prove yourself to others. The focus is entirely on the process. It's in the quiet moments when no one is watching that you truly test your dedication. These are the moments that separate those who are serious about their goals from those who are just looking for temporary recognition. The path to success is paved with consistent, focused effort, and that effort often takes place in private. It's not about being seen. It's about getting better, refining your craft, and moving closer to your vision. In a world where instant gratification is often the norm, working behind the scenes forces you to cultivate patience. There are no quick wins, no overnight successes. Success is the result of countless small actions taken over a long period of time. Every decision, every effort, every failure, and every lesson learned while you're not in the spotlight contributes to the bigger picture. What others might see as an overnight success is often the result of years of work that went unseen, unnoticed, and uncelebrated. Those who understand the importance of working behind the scenes are the ones who see long-term success because they know that true progress is gradual and requires unwavering dedication. The beauty of working in silence is that it frees you from the pressure to compare yourself to others. When you are focused on your own journey, refining your own craft, and moving forward without external distractions, you stop measuring your progress against someone else's timeline. There's no need to keep up with the pace of others because your success is measured by your own growth, not by the external benchmarks that society often sets. You're not worried about what others think or whether they notice your efforts. You are simply focused on doing the work, and that focus allows you to move with clarity and purpose. Behind every great achievement, there is a story that no one sees: the sleepless nights, the setbacks, the relentless commitment to improvement. All of these things take place in private. Working behind the scenes means embracing the hard, often unseen work that is necessary to build something significant. It's easy. What you don't see is the hundreds or thousands of hours spent in preparation, in learning, and in perseverance. That unseen work is the foundation upon which success is built. The work you do when no one is watching not only shapes your skill set, but it also shapes your character. It's in these behind-the-scenes moments that you build the resilience and mental toughness necessary to handle challenges when they arise. These moments teach you discipline, patience, and the ability to push through even when the end result isn't in sight. It's easy to stay motivated when everyone is cheering you on or when success is right in front of you. But true growth comes from the times when you have to keep going despite the uncertainty and the lack of external reinforcement. One of the key advantages of working behind the scenes is that it allows you to learn, grow, and adapt without the pressure of judgment. You can make mistakes, adjust your approach, and pivot without worrying about others' opinions. This freedom to fail and try again is crucial in the development of any skill. In the public eye, the fear of failure can be paralyzing, but when you're working quietly, you have the space to fail forward. You can course correct, learn from your mistakes, and refine your approach without the pressure of performing for others. This is where real growth happens, in the private moments where failure isn't something to fear, but something to learn from. When you choose to work behind the scenes, you give yourself the chance to truly master your craft. You dedicate time to perfecting your skills and knowledge without being distracted by the need to show off what you can do. Mastery requires deep focus, and deep focus requires solitude. The ability to spend hours immersed in your work, constantly improving and honing your skills is what sets the successful apart. They don't rush through the process just to be seen. They allow themselves the space to grow at their own pace, building a solid foundation that will support their success for years to come. Another key benefit of working behind the scenes is that it allows you to create something authentic. When you aren't worried about external validation, you are free to pursue your vision in its purest form. You aren't influenced by trends or the opinions of others. Instead, you can create something that is true to who you are and what you believe in. This authenticity is what ultimately makes your work stand out. It's the uniqueness that arises when you are unapologetically yourself and focus solely on what matters most to you. When you allow yourself to work in silence, you cultivate your own voice, and that voice is what will eventually resonate with others. As you continue to work behind the scenes, the results of your efforts will eventually speak for themselves. People will begin to notice the work you've done, the expertise you've developed, and the value you've created. But by the time the world takes notice, you'll have already built something solid and enduring. The process of working in silence allows you to focus on the quality of your work rather than seeking immediate recognition. When the results finally emerge, they will be undeniable. Your actions, your efforts, and your commitment will be visible for all to see, and they will speak for themselves in a way that words never could. Working behind the scenes is a choice to prioritize long-term success over short-term gratification. It's about building something that lasts, something that is based on your own hard work and dedication. It requires patience, focus, and the ability to stay true to your vision even when the world doesn't immediately see what you're building. It's about trusting the process and knowing that all the hard work you do when no one is watching will eventually pay off. The rewards of working behind the scenes are not immediate, but when they come, they will be greater than anything you could have achieved through seeking validation or rushing to be seen. Success is not found in the applause or the recognition that comes from others. It is found in the process, the daily grind, and the commitment to progress. Too often we get caught up in seeking external validation, waiting for the moment when others will acknowledge our efforts and achievements. We focus on the applause, the recognition that comes from the world seeing what we've done. But the truth is the applause is fleeting. It's the process, the work, and the small victories along the way that will ultimately shape your success. When you focus on the process, you shift your attention from the outcome to the journey. Instead of worrying about when you'll be recognized, you begin to embrace the hard work, the learning, and the growth that happens in the day-to-day. The process is where true mastery is built. It's where skills are honed, knowledge is gained, and habits are formed. It's easy to get distracted by the end goal, but it's the moments leading up to it that really matter. The steps you take, even the small ones, are what lay the foundation for long-term success. There's a saying that success is a journey, not a destination. When you focus on the process, you embody this truth. You understand that the journey is not something to rush through, but something to embrace and fully experience. Every step is a lesson. Every challenge is an opportunity to grow. Every setback is a chance to build resilience. Focusing on the process helps you stay grounded and focused even when the results aren't immediate. It allows you to find value in the work itself, not just in the recognition that may come later. One of the most powerful aspects of focusing on the process is that it keeps you motivated when the applause is absent. There will be times in your journey when no one notices your progress, when no one is cheering you on, and when your efforts seem invisible. In these moments, the process becomes your source of motivation.